Well, greetings, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Dr. Jeff Riggenbaugh back here with you on another Tips Tuesday, where I bring you a tip, tool, or tidbit for dealing with the difficult people in your life. Today, we're going to talk about the landmines, or in my corporate training, what I call the eggshell employees. And I'm going to give you three of my top 10 tips for dealing with landmines or emotionally volatile people that you may have in your life. By the way, if you want to get all 10 tips for dealing with those emotionally reactive people so you don't have to feel like you're walking on eggshells, go ahead and click that link below and grab the top 10 tip sheet. If you click on the link, by the way, that'll put you on the email, put you on our email list, where each week you will get a tip, tool, or tidbit for dealing with the landmines or other difficult people in your life. So give you another resource in that area as well. This free social media series is brought to you based upon the content of my new book and coaching program, Disarming High Conflict Personalities. So today, top 3 tips for dealing with the landmines in your life. And tip number 1 has to do with staying calm. Staying calm. This is always easier said than done. But we do now know that there's this thing called mirror neurons. Mirror neurons have to do with these cells in our brain that basically what they influence us to do is to react similarly to those that we're interacting with. So the oversimplification here in terms of application is that the calmer we are when interacting with somebody, the more likely it is that they're going to be able to de-escalate. The more we escalate and kind of get in their face or raise our voice or these kinds of non-verbals, usually, sometimes even verbals, the more likely it is the other person's going to escalate. And that is the downfall of the landmine in the first place. They're much more easily prone to escalate than the rest of us. We all get triggered. We all get our buttons pushed, so to speak. But this group gets their buttons pushed so much more easily and so much more often than everybody else. So we need to do everything that we can when interacting with them to stay calm. So tip number 1 is a simple stay calm. Tip number 2 has to do with offer them any possible opportunity that you can for stress reduction. If you're teaching and you're in the classroom, don't take away recess. Give them opportunity for physical fitness. Give them opportunities to even take small 5-minute brain breaks in your class. Anything that you can do to offer them an opportunity to de-escalate. If your organization can offer morning fitness opportunities or yoga, I've seen organizations implement, or anything at all. Again, small breaks throughout the course of the day. Employees are oftentimes more productive, and we know less irritable, less prone to make life difficult for others on the team if they have an opportunity to reduce their stress levels. Again, this group's downfall is that they're overly reactive, and it's true for all of us that the more stressed out we are, actually 2 things, the more sleep deprived and the more stressed out we are, the more likely it is that we are going to be to engage in whatever our sort of weakness is. I mean, if you have a little bit of worry wart in you, you tend to worry a little bit anyway. The more stressed out you are, the less sleep you have, the more prone you're going to find yourself to worry. If maybe you have a tendency to snap at people a little bit, get a little bit irritable, the less sleep you have, or the more stressed out you are, probably the more likely it's going to be that you're going to yell at your spouse or your child or whatever the case may be. Maybe be snippier with people at work. So we know that's true for all of us. The more our stress levels are elevated beyond our baseline, the more likely it is that we're going to engage in whatever our sort of weak spots are in our personality. And that's 10 times more so the case with landmines. So tip number 2 has to do with offering them any opportunity that they can to reduce their stress, keep their stress as low as possible in their life, and particularly in the setting that you are interacting with them, whether that's a workplace, an education setting, a faith-based setting, a nonprofit, whatever the context may be. Tip number 3 has to do with, and this is maybe the most important part, really sort of the secret sauce for dealing with these folks on a regular basis. And it has to do with clarifying meaning. Clarifying meaning. because these folks are so reactive, because at their core, they're misinterpreting things. Okay, research shows that this group of folks is much more sensitive to external stimuli, and they're going to be more prone to misinterpret that. Okay, so when I'm doing coaching with these individuals, that's a lot of what I'm doing is coaching them to learn to interpret things, learn to think about things, learn to work with their perception and how they take things, to take things in a different way. And so we can try to help these people do that as well. But we can do that when interacting with these folks in leadership roles or in other capacities also. So going out of our way to clarify what we really meant. If we think that somebody may be prone to take it wrong, we can sort of do one of those preemptive strikes. Or if we see that we believe they have taken it wrong, we can go out of our way and say something like, well, this happened a couple of weeks ago, to say something like, Vicky, I see that you're maybe getting a little bit worked up there. Is it all right with you if I just clarify quickly what I meant? So what I said was that it's a lot of work putting on this employee appreciation event. But I didn't say that you or anybody else on the team wasn't worth it. I mean, I got to tell you that I wouldn't have put this kind of resources, time or money, into people that I didn't think were worth it. And I want you to know that I think you and the team do a great job, and I absolutely value you, and that is why I'm doing this. And so go out of your way to clarify what you said. Now make the statement and then just move on. Okay, don't grovel and I'm so sorry. Did you take it like this? And then's when we get on the sort of walking on eggshells. And also we are sort of teaching them how to treat us. So when we go on and grovel in that sort of apologetic way, that sometimes can be behaviorally reinforcing. So it's not like we're giving them extra attention for this, but if we see they might have taken it the wrong way, go out of our way to initiate, just to clarify what we actually meant, to be sure that we're doing everything we can, to be sure that they heard the message that we intended to send. So that's exactly the kind of work I did with that young lady and her organization and the coaching program that I'm working with her and with the team in, and went in and did a couple of trainings as a part of that as well. If you've got a landmine or difficult people on your team, I'd love to come in and do some work with your organization. Shoot me an email at difficultpeople@jeffriggenbaugh.com, difficultpeople@jeffriggenbaugh.com to start that discussion. I guarantee you these team trainings and individual or management coaching will definitely make it easier for you to communicate with these people that are making life more difficult for you in the workplace or in your organization, and ultimately contributing to not getting the results that you want, damaging the culture, influencing your mission in a negative way, contributing to low employee retention, all these kinds of things that difficult people bring to an organization. So I'd love to come in and do some work with your team if that's the case. Hope these 3 tips were helpful. Hope everybody has a great Tuesday and rest of your week. We will see you next Tuesday for another Tips Tuesday, where we talk to you about the yes man. Give you some tips for dealing with the yes man or yes ma'am in your life. We'll see you next Tuesday. In the meantime, be well.